Hello everyone. In our last video, we were talking about delirium. Now we'll talk about dementia as a disorder. Dementia describes a group of symptoms affecting memory, thinking, and social abilities, severe enough to interfere in your day-to-day life activities. It isn't a specific disease, but several different diseases may cause dementia. So the understanding of dementia is something which takes you around to question yourself how badly it can affect your memory, thinking capacity, and the social abilities. At the same time, this disease can give rise to many other forms of disease which can be really very grave. So dementia involves memory loss. Memory loss has different causes again. Having memory loss alone doesn't mean you have dementia. This is one of the initial and very crucial thing that you have to remember is having a memory loss will not cause you dementia. It doesn't mean that you are a patient of dementia. Alzheimer's disease is one of the common cause of progressive dementia in older adults, but there are a number of cases of dementia. Depending upon the cause of the dementia, symptoms may be reversible. So you have to understand that the causes of dementia and what are the symptoms of dementia are. Just if you are not able to recollect few things, just you are not able to get back to your memory, that doesn't mean that you have dementia. And one of the leading problem, that is a progressive dementia disorder, is Alzheimer's disease. So we'll have a look on all these things. So now let us understand the symptoms of dementia. Symptoms of dementia vary depending upon the cause, but common signs of symptoms include cognitive changes, that is memory loss, which is usually noticed by spouse or someone else. So this is somebody who is very close to you, your husband or wife or someone who knows you very well. Those individuals will definitely make out that you have lost a grave amount of memory. Next is difficulty communicating or finding words. You have the poverty of words. You do not know which word to put across, because words in the sense just not forgetting things like you remembered, that is tip of tongue phenomenon. It's not that. Here you completely forget the words. So that is also one of the grave symptom of dementia. And difficulty with visual and spatial abilities, such as getting lost while driving. So you forget the way back to your home. You do not know which lane, which cross, and which building it is. So you keep roaming in and around the same place, reassuring yourself, I'll find my home very soon, but you are not able to do so. You have lost your ability, that to visual memory and spatial memory as well. Both visual and spatial abilities to recognize things have been lost. Difficulty reasoning or problem solving. You are not able to reason out well. You are not able to solve the problems. Handling complex tasks. Difficulty in handling complex tasks in the sense things which require a lot of cognitive involvement. Such tasks are not practiced by you hereafter. So you will not be able to handle those tasks. Your memory, your thought process is affected. The reasoning is hampered. So you will not be able to do that. You will lose the ability to plan and organize things. Though you are very organized individual, you were completely good at it, but then you forget that those organized behavior within you, and you just simply make yourself very unorganized. So I remember this is a form of progressive memory loss, that is Alzheimer's disease. One of my neighbors, auntie, she is old enough. So she has developed this disorder wherein she completely forgets. She has forgot how to cook. She has forgot how to be organized, because earlier she was a kind of lady who kept things very organized, and she was a very good chef, very good cook after all. But then now she has completely forgot how it works, how the cooking works. And she forgets the name of people. She doesn't recognize the face of people. So she gives new names to those whoever she meets for the first time. She repeats the sentences and words which she had been telling, that too especially relating to her past, like in the sense when she was in her childhood or when she was in her young ages. Other than that, nothing new is remembered or recalled by her. So this is one of signs of dementia. Difficulty with coordination and motor function, not able to function, motor functioning and coordination of your hands and mind is also not proper. Confusion and disorientation. So you are so confused because you cannot recollect, you cannot make out the points then where exactly and how you have to plan your next move, because however the planning and reasoning is also affected, and the ability to carry forward your actions are also affected. So this also affects your psychological processing. So personality of an individual changes. This might lead to depression, anxiety, and sometimes paranoid behavior, agitation, being very irritated, inappropriate behavior, and hallucination could also be seen. So what do you think? What causes dementia? Dementia is caused by damage or loss of nerve cells. We have talked about this even while dealing with delirium. So, and their connections, the nerve cells connections are lost or the damage is caused to the nerve cell in the brain, then the dementia is possible. The onset of dementia is possible. Depending upon the area of brain which is affected by the damage, dementia can affect people differently and cause different symptoms. So which area of brain the dementia is affected, that is in the sense the nerve cells of which part of brain is damaged, which part of a nerve cell is damaged, and how far the damage has caused. Depending upon that, dementia shows the different signs and symptoms, and it is differently affecting to different people. So mainly it is focusing on the area of damage and the individual, how far it has affected, how far it has caused the damage. So based on that, the signs and symptoms are expressed, and each patient has a different form of symptoms. However, commonly the list of symptoms that we talked about above, all those symptoms are definitely gonna expressed. So that is one thing of causes for dementia, and other being dementias are often grouped by what they have in common, such as protein or protein deposits in the brain or part of the brain that is affected. So excess of protein deposits in the brain can also cause dementia. Some diseases like dementia, such as those caused by reaction of medication or vitamin deficiency, they might also cause progressive dementia at times. However, the treatment might help the condition. So for these kind of dementia like protein deposits or disease which has caused the onset of dementia, or say certain medicine reaction, those can be set aside by the medication or treatment so that people can live a normal life. However, the damage to the nerve cell is irreversible, so you can prevent rather than once you know that the person has a problem of dementia, you can prevent the further damage of the brain cells, and you cannot help in regenerating the brain cells. Brain cells are the only cells in our body which do not regenerate on its own. It doesn't regenerate. Once it's dead, that means it is damaged and it's dead. You will not regain new or any extra neurons or the nerve cells which are responsible for the good functioning of the brain. So now let us understand the progressive dementia. The types of dementia that progress and are irreversible in nature. That is Alzheimer's disease. This is one of the first and grave disorder that sees its onset in the later years of life when the individual is old enough. So Alzheimer's disease is most common cause of dementia. This, as dementia is slow and progressive disease, so by the time an individual reaches his old age, he will have a completely acquired Alzheimer's disease then. Although not all the causes for Alzheimer's diseases are known, except do know that the small percentage are related to mutation of 3 genes which can pass down from parent to child, while several different genes are probably involved in Alzheimer's disease. So genes also do contribute for Alzheimer's disease, but then it is very rarely seen, and those kind of genes which are passed down from parents to children is the rarest that you can come across. However, Alzheimer's disease patients have plaques and tangles in their brain. Plaques in the sense the protein deposits or the clumps can also be there in a brain, and the tangles like fibrous tangles in the brain which are due to the protein deposits. These can also cause the healthy functioning of the neuron, and that results in the Alzheimer's disease. So these are also the causes for Alzheimer's. Just like we said that earlier, the protein deposits in the brain can also cause dementia. Same thing, this dementia itself leads to cause the Alzheimer's disease later. We have another form of dementia, that is vascular dementia. This is the second most common type of dementia, which is caused due to damage in the vessels that supply blood to the brain. So here you have come across the damage in the vessels, the blood vessels that carry blood to the brain. So that is called vascular dementia. The blood vessels problems can cause stroke or damage to the brain in any other way, such as damaging the fibers and the white matter of the brain. The most common symptoms of vascular dementia is difficulty with problem solving, salt thinking, focus and organization. These tend to be more noticeable than the memory loss. So individual who were good at problem solving, who were good at thinking and the focus and organization of things which gets impaired, it is very easily noticed rather than the memory. So if you do not recall, somebody would help you out with recalling things. Maybe they believe that maybe she just forgot that, but then you will never forget to be organized. If you are a person who is completely organized human being, then this is easily noticed than the other forms of dementia, and it is a second leading dementia problem. We have other 3 more types. Lewy body dementia. Lewy bodies are abnormal ballonic clumps of protein that have found in the brains of people with Lewy body dementia. So these are the these are like balloon-like clumps of protein. So you have they are just like a bubble kind of. They are blown up. These are the lumps of protein, and this is what you call as Lewy body dementia, and especially it is found in people who are diagnosed with the Lewy body dementia. So it is almost all the patients who are suffering from Lewy body dementia, when you screen their brain, you get to see the balloon-like lumps of protein. So Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease, also you can find such cases. This is one of the more common type of progressive dementia. Common signs and symptoms include in this is one's dream in sleep, seeing things that aren't there, visual hallucination, problem with focus and attention. Other signs include uncoordinated or slow movement, tremors and rigidity. So rigidity is seen in Parkinson's disease, and at times the combination of Parkinson and Alzheimer's happens, that is called as Huntington's disease. So there are many forms of disease, like you have one disease, you have combination of 2 disease, that is termed as something else. You have combination of symptoms and causes for that particular disease. So Lewy body dementia has little of features in similar to schizophrenia when it comes to visual hallucination, and catatonic schizophrenia when it comes to movement. So few of the things are very much similar to that, and these balloon like lumps of protein, they do occupy the other brain area and affects the brain's white matter, and white matter damaging is very much harmful, and it is seen as one of the cause for schizophrenia as well. So everything has a link in general. And talking about frontotemporal dementia, here this is a group of disease. It is characterized by degeneration of nerve cells. So these nerve cells generally associated with personality, behavior and language. So they are connected to the frontal and temporal lobe of the brain, and these areas are associated with the personality of an individual, the brain of an individual. So the way an individual thinks, judges, language. The temporal lobe is responsible for language, both the expression and comprehension of language. At the same time, frontal lobe is responsible for thinking ability, higher cognitive function. Personality of an individual is framed, how he judge, what kind of judgment he can make, his thinking ability. All these things are controlled by frontal lobe, and temporal lobe handles the language part. So when this disease is acting on an individual, it is characterized by breakdown of degeneration of nerve cells and their connection in the frontal lobe and temporal lobe. For that reason, it is frontotemporal dementia. It is called as frontotemporal dementia for this reason, because of the area that it acts on. Common symptom is it affects behavior, thinking, judgment, language, because these frontal lobe and temporal lobe are the features or the structure of the brain which controls these areas and their proper functioning. Then we have mixed dementia. So this dementia is there were autopsy studies of the brains of people who are 80 and older, like they have crossed 80, had dementia, that indicate that many had a combination of several causes such as Alzheimer's disease, then they have vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia. So studies are ongoing to determine how having mixed dementia affects the symptoms and treatment. So this is one of something like dementia which you cannot classify, not otherwise significant. That kind of classification, you call it as mixed. So other disorders which are in association with dementia, Huntington disease, wherein Huntington disease has a combination of Parkinson as well as Alzheimer's. So you have a memory loss there, as well as you have a trembling of your hands and limbs. You are unable to move your body. So here again, the decrease in the dopamine content in your brain is seen, which is one of the feature of Parkinson, as well as the protein contents can be increased in your brain, which is a cause for dementia, or it could be due to the damage to the brain nerve cells. So you can have a traumatic brain injury which can also cause a dementia, as this might affect on the individual's nerve cells, and the damage of nerve cells causes dementia. So Parkinson is also included under this. And moving on to understand like what actually what are the risk factors that can lead to dementia. So we have under dementia you have many things, like many things to discuss, but then that is not required for you, as your syllabus is something which has a little to touch on each aspect of disease, not the complete understanding of it. So let us understand the risk factor. Risk factor is age. The risk rises as you age, especially after the age of 65. Dementia isn't a normal part of aging, and dementia can occur with younger people as well. But the onset might be in younger ages, but the results are seen when you age. Family history. Having a family history where your parents, first degree relatives have dementia, or you have a gene for dementia, then there are chances of developing symptoms of dementia. Down syndrome. By middle age, many people with Down syndrome will develop Alzheimer's disease. So when we were talking about Down syndrome, we had made mention of this, that this would Down syndrome leads to memory loss, and memory is affected, and it is one of the factor of concern when it comes to Alzheimer's disease with the people who have Down syndrome. What factors you can change to control dementia then? So are there any factors that would help you to control the dementia? So diet and exercise. Research shows that lack of exercise increases the risk of dementia. No specific diet is known to reduce the risk of dementia. However, you can make sure that you eat healthy diet and cut off on the unhealthy diet. So Mediterranean style diet rich in produce, whole grains, nuts and seeds, these are very much recommended, because nuts, when you talk about nuts, you have almonds which will boost your memory. So that's what our parents tell us, and they make us eat almonds, though it doesn't taste good. So that's one of the diet recommended. And other than that is heavy alcohol use. If you drink too much of alcohol, you might have a higher risk of dementia. It will affect on the brain cells, as well as it studies tell us that moderate amount of alcohol have a provocative effect results. But then a relationship of moderate amount of alcohol and dementia risk isn't well understood. But then heavy use of alcohol can cause a very bad memory loss. Cardiovascular risk. The third one being cardiovascular risk, like high blood pressure, hypertension, high cholesterol, building up of fats on your artery walls, and obesity, that can cause the dementia, which makes which pressurizes on your nerves, in fact. Depression. Although not yet well understood, late life depression might indicate development of dementia. Diabetes, it can also be a factor which should be taken into consideration, that increasing your risk of dementia is seen if diabetes is not properly controlled. Smoking might increase your risk of developing dementia, and it might cause blood vessel or vascular diseases. So vascular dementia is possible if you are into smoking. Sleep apnea in the sense people who snore and people who have episodes where they frequently stop breathing while they are sleeping. So they do not get proper oxygen while sleeping. Those individuals have this problem. Vitamin and nutritional deficiency, like vitamin D deficiency, vitamin B deficiency, vitamin B6 and B12 deficiency can also cause dementia. So these factors definitely give rise to the problem of dementia in an individual. So these are the risk factors which could be reversed, or which could be taken care of by keeping our mind active, keeping ourselves physically and socially active, quitting smoking, getting enough of vitamins, managing our cardiovascular risk factor, treat the health condition, maintain healthy diet, and have a good quality of sleep. So